Right, we're moving on to angles. And like I said, Mr. O'Connor's not here this week or next week, I said in the last one. So any work that I give will just be due for my class, but I'll just give him a few more questions, that's all. Okay, so you'll have a bit more time to do it. Just as in, you'll have his class and my class to do it, but it'll still be due for my next lesson. Alright, so angles. Again, this starts off fairly simple, this chapter, so there's no examples in this section, but there's a few notes I want you to take down. Okay, this symbol, you're going to see, again, most of you will have done angles. This symbol represents an angle. And if you're looking at this angle here, sometimes it might be written as the angle AOB. The angle is the one in the middle. So if you ever see anything that's AOB, they're talking about the angle at O, in between A and B. So that's important because some people don't understand what that means. That might have just been called angle O sometimes. They might just have this symbol in O. But usually it's called like this, okay? AOB. It's the angle or the letter in the middle that the angle is at. That's very important. When the hand of a clock moves one position to another, they'll say that an angle has been generated. So every time the clock moves, the angle gets greater, yeah? When the hand of the clock starts at 12 and does a complete turn, it's one complete revolution. One complete revolution is 360 parts. So a full revolution is 360 degrees. And each part is written as this degree, 1 degree. Again, and most people will know 1 degree, and it's that little circle after it, 1 degree. 360 degrees is written at 360 degrees. So any of your answers, when we're looking at calculating angles, please just make sure that you put the degree symbol in if it's necessary. Okay, so there's a few notes I want to take down. So first of all, make sure you know what that symbol is. Make sure that you know to write degrees, and also make sure that you know that 360 degrees is the full revolution. Okay. Naming angles. Like I said, I want you to take down this. So again, there's no notes here today. It's just going to be, there's no example. It's just going to be notes. So I want you to take down that diagram. Little subheading naming angles. Go from A to B to C. And I want you to know that this can be named three ways. It can be named the angle ABC. It can be named the angle CBA. Or it can just simply be called the angle B. So just take that down because they might refer to that. If I was to draw an angle like this, and this was D, this was E, this was F, this angle would be either D, the angle DEF, or the angle FED, because it's the letter in the middle that denotes where the angle is, and it's saying it's going from D to E to F, or from F to E to D, or it could be just simply the angle E. Okay, so sometimes you'll see like that. Very important. There's a couple of questions where it asks you to write out the letters in an order, okay, based on what the picture says. So that's the first bit of notes. The next little subheading is a right angle. Okay, and I'm sure most of you will have come across this before, but just to make sure. A quarter, so 1/4 of a full revolution is called a right angle. And a right angle is 90 degrees, and we use this symbol, okay, a little square. So I want you to take down a little subheading, this little diagram, and say 1/4 revolution is a right angle is equal to 90 degrees. And you don't need to put this in because you'll have that in your diagram. So anytime you see that little square in a corner, it means it's a right angle. Next one, straight line. Okay, little subheading, straight line. Half a revolution makes a straight angle or a straight line. A straight angle is 180 degrees. So again, take down the diagram, your little subheading, diagram. A half revolution makes a straight angle. A straight angle is 180 degrees. It's two right angles, double two right angles. Again, I'm sure most of you know this already, but no harm taking this down. Third bit of notes, other angles. Okay, so I'm sure you'll know anything less than 90 degrees is acute. Okay, smaller than 90 degrees is acute. I'm sure in primary school there was lots of different methods of remembering acute. Greater than 90 but less than 180, obtuse. Because when you get to 180 it's a straight angle, so obtuse is in between 90 and 180. And then greater than 180 is a reflex, like the outside of the angle is a reflex angle. So again, add that to your notes. Ordinary angle. The given diagram shows two angles AOB. So it's this and this. The shaded angle is called the ordinary angle. Okay, so the angle that's not the reflex. So if you ever hear that, it's not likely it'll come up, but if you ever hear that, the ordinary angle is the one that you'd associate in between the two lines where it's closing, as opposed to the outside of the two lines. Alright, so just a term to be aware of. And I'm going to get you to go through section 10.2. And just be aware, like in question 9, it doesn't ask for the angle, it asks for the fraction. So sometimes it talks about fractions, sometimes it talks about names, sometimes it talks about angles, and there's quite a few questions there. So that's what we're going to be going through, and I'll list that in the instructions. Again, you have till, so this is Thursday's class, so you have this to do till Tuesday, and you can do it in Monday's class as well for Mr. O'Connor's class. But just make sure it's done by Tuesday, and then on Tuesday I'll give you more work that will have to be done for Thursday. So the same way I give work usually, but I'll just be giving a bit more, so you'll have time to do it in Mr. O'Connor's as well. Okay, so take down the notes I've said, and then get on to the questions that I mentioned in the instructions.